Using SSL certificates with the Edgenexus EdgeADC. Welcome to this educational video by Edgenexus. Why are SSL certificates required? When we look to SSL certificates, we normally associate them with websites and servers within our network that need secured access due to their sensitive data content. We rarely think about their importance in daily IT activity. SSL certificates are used to encrypt and decrypt the data that is sent between servers and the user. SSL certificates, in the context of ADCs, work in much the same way. They are used to decrypt the traffic in cases of SSL offload and re-encryption of the traffic when SSL bridging or SSL re-encryption is in use. In this video, we will explain the following: how to generate a self-signed SSL certificate using the ADC, how to create a certificate signing request to send to trusted authorities, importing a PKCS12, better known as a PFX certificate, displaying the properties of an SSL certificate that has been installed, creating self-signed SSL certificates. The screen you see shows us the IP services page of the EdgeADC. Click on Library in the navigation panel, and then click on SSL Certificates. You will then be presented with all of the SSL management tools built into the EdgeADC. We will now create your first self-signed SSL certificate, and you can see the Create Certificate section on the main panel. You will need to provide the details shown in the form. The domain name field is very important and is used to bind the SSL certificate to the FQDN, or fully qualified domain name. So this could be something like www.acme.uk, or portal.acme.uk, the IP address of the server, or even the host name. The value you provide in this field must be how you address any requests to the server. Once you have filled all the fields, click the Create Local Certificate button. The EdgeADC will then create the self-signed SSL certificate and store it for us. As you can see from the screen, the SSL we just created is now available from the Basic tab of IP services. Creating a certificate signing request. A CSR, or certificate signing request, is one of the first steps towards getting your SSL certificate. The CSR contains information, for example, the common name, organization, country, etc. The certificate authority, or CA, will use the CSR to create your certificate. It also contains the public key that the CA will include in your certificate and is signed with the corresponding private key. Let's start with the IP services page, from where we will navigate to SSL certificates, located in the library section. Fill in the form as before, but this time click the Create Certificate Request button. The certificate signing request will be displayed in a pop-up dialog. To use the CSR, highlight and copy all of the text in the dialog. Then, save it to a file with an extension of .csr. Keep this file safe as it is required for the creation of the actual SSL certificate. You can use any trusted authority to create the SSL certificate. Please obtain a PKCS12 or PFX certificate if possible. If this is not possible, you can always convert it later using online or local tools. The EdgeADC uses PKCS12 or PFX due to the higher security they provide. Make sure you also download the private key file for the certificate. The secret key file is extremely important should you wish to convert the certificate provided by the CA. A link to the DigiCert conversion tools is provided, or you can use Open SSL tools on your local machine to perform the conversion to PFX. Importing a PKCS12 or PFX SSL certificate. The IP services page of the EdgeADC will again be our starting point. Navigate to the SSL certificates page via the library option. Scroll down until you see the Import Single Certificate section. Give the SSL certificate a descriptive name without spaces. Provide the password for the PFX certificate. Remember, the PFX certificate you will import must contain the private key and have a password. Browse and locate the PFX certificate you are importing. Once found, click on the file and then the Open button. Then click the Import button to finalize the import process. You can now see the imported SSL certificate in the Basic tab of IP Services. Displaying the properties of an SSL certificate. Starting from the IP Services page, navigate to SSL Certificates located in the Library section. In the Manage Certificates section, use the Certificate menu to select the SSL certificate you want to see the properties of. Click the Show button. You will then be shown the properties of the SSL certificate in a pop-up dialog. How to utilize SSL certificates in practice. In this part of the video, we will show the following examples. SSL Offload and SSL Re-encryption, both with and without SNI. SSL Offload is when encrypted data enters the ADC through the VIP in encrypted form and is decrypted using the correct SSL certificate before sending to the real servers in unencrypted format. SSL Re-encryption is when encrypted data enters the ADC, is decrypted, perhaps for traffic inspection, and then re-encrypted before sending onto the real servers. SNI, Server Name Indication, allows you to specify multiple SSL certificates for the virtual service. The EdgeADC will then select the correct certificate to use, depending on the host name used in the request. We will begin with the IP Services page. It shows a single VIP on port 443 with an HTTP virtual service and the corresponding Basic tab in the Real Servers section. First, we will consider SSL Offload using a single host name. Select the SSL certificate you need from the Virtual Service Certificate drop-down. In our case, it is Acme UK. In the Real Server Certificate menu, select No SSL. This action configures the EdgeADC to offload SSL traffic from 443 to 80. If we want to use SNI, we can select multiple SSL certificates in the Virtual Service SSL Certificate drop-down menu. So, now let us consider how to configure for SSL Re-encryption. Again, in our example, we will set the Virtual Service Certificate to Acme UK. We can then set the Real Server Certificate to any, meaning we will accept any SSL certificate on the real server and encrypt accordingly. We can also choose a fixed SSL certificate, in this case, Acme UK, so traffic is re-encrypted using the same certificate we used for decryption. We can also select multiple SSL certificates in the Virtual Service Certificate menu, and use SNI to determine which certificate to use, depending on the hostname in the request. Should you choose the SNI method, you must select the Any option, as the Real Server Certificate. Another point to note is that you select a default SNI certificate to use, should there be no SSL to hostname match. The SNI default certificate setting is found in the Advanced tab, within the Real Servers section. That concludes this video on how to use SSL certificates in the EdgeADC. We thank you for watching and listening to this video presentation. Edgenexus, the home of affordable, easy-to-use load balancing.